Hey, model citizens. Model World here, back again with some more worldly happenings. Today, we're going to discuss the topic of airplanes. Airplanes take us here, they take us there, they take us everywhere, faster, quicker, and right now, cheaper, because you can hop on a plane and go somewhere real cheap right now. But that's not what we're discussing. We're discussing that according to Fox News, airlines could soon start weighing passengers before flights. The report suggests that airline passengers may be required to step on the scale at the airport or share their weight. So you're going to have to step on that scale before you hop on that plane. And inherently, it makes sense. You want to make sure that you know that they calculate the right weight for the plane and how much and how fast it's going to go. That's math. Math be mathing. But they got to make sure the math right, you know. But I can see there's being a problem because as soon as I was reading the article, I was like, I'm okay with this. And I understand the need for it, but I don't think the people as a whole are going to be okay with this. I'm thinking, so I went to go read the comments, right? I'm reading the comments, and then you got people saying, oh, what if they have medications and it makes them fat? I'm like, they're not asking the reasons why you're fat. They're just asking how much you weigh. The reason why you're fat is your personal business. They just want to know how much you weigh so that when we get on this plane, that everybody's weight is calculated and the plane won't go down. That's all. That's all we need. The plane won't go down. It won't slow down, or the plane won't drop a couple feet suddenly because they didn't calculate the weight right. Like, I just need us to get there from point A to point B safely. And if just because you feel bad about your weight or you feel like nobody should know, like, I don't know. I feel like that's because the comments made no sense. The comments were like, oh, well, they should just, what one of the comments said? They was like, oh, they shouldn't have to ask for your weights. They should just already be pre-calculated based on, I'm like, based on what? Based on what? Tell me. They couldn't tell you how the weight is going to be calculated. They're going to say the weight should be pre-calculated already. But if they calculate the weight based off the average American, and the average American is increasing, the weight is increasing yearly, let's say by 12%. I think that is increasing at a steady rate. They're going to have to repeatedly keep surveying the passengers to get the right average amount of weight. So either way, they're doing the right. They're going about this the right way. So that didn't make sense. And another thing they were saying was like, oh, weighing people, that's it's a private matter. What if they don't want to be weighed? But they give it out. They said that if a passenger doesn't want to be weighed, they can opt out of being weighed, but they're going to need one of the passengers to be weighed because they need the average weight of the cabin or of the crew. Even the crew has to be weighed. So it's not even just the passengers. The crew has to be weighed, but we don't want to think about that. So the passengers have to be weighed. I was thinking of, okay, so now I can see them saying how this is fatphobic or whatever, but I'm thinking, no, I want to go to the next destination. I want to make it alive on this plane. But then I was thinking, okay, so is there any way that this could be harmful to anybody? Like nobody, like this could be harmful to their rights of getting on the plane. And I was thinking the only way that it would be wrong is if they made it where if you didn't want to weigh yourself or whatever, that you would lose it would be non-refundable. You'll lose your ticket, even if you'll lose your seat. But the fact that they're weighing people, I think they're weighing people, and they're saying how the cost might go up if it's like the weight went up, which makes sense because you pay more when you have more baggage. So even though I'm not gonna lie, my feelings is hurt too. Like I would be mad. I get on the plane. Oh, you 40 pounds overweight than you said you was. Because hey, don't lie about your weight. If they calculate by weight now. But let's say now they're doing a system where now that based on your weight is based on how much your ticket is, or like average weight is a regular price ticket, like average. But if you're overweight or obese, you paying extra. And here's the thing, people don't think it's just not obese people. If you're a bodybuilder, that's not natural. So bodybuilders are paying extra too. They just don't feel a way about it. They're just paying extra. So okay, so I understand that I'm not overweight, but I'm not the thinnest. So if I knew I was gonna be, this would cause me anxiety. Yes, it would cause me anxiety to be weighed. But I think I would just rather pay the money up front than just be put on the spot. Like I would just go before the whole boarding anything, and I would just go weigh myself, say how much this weight gonna cost. Don't give me at the door. That would be embarrassing for me. That's what I would do, just to spare my own feelings. To spare my own feelings, I would do that because I'm sensitive. I understand people are sensitive about their weight. Nobody's saying that you shouldn't feel the type of way about being weighed in front of people. Yes, but what I am saying is, if this is gonna help us go to the destination we need to go, we need to be weighed, ma'am, sirs. We need to be weighed. I'm sorry. I'm not finna get on this plane and we just gonna, nobody getting weighed, nobody. We need to know at least the average amount. So that means the crew I already know the crew gonna be mandatory. I don't think you could be overweight if you're an airline assistant. It makes no sense logically going through all those narrow quarters serving people. You can't be that overweight. You can you can't be obese. You can probably be a little overweight, but you can't be obese being an airline person attendant, an air attendant. No, I can't even say it, but air attendant, whatever. But I was reading this article. I was like, hey, like, I ain't mad at it. But they say they only going to complete it every 36 months. And that passenger weights are confidential. I don't believe it's confidential, but I'm thinking, what can they do with your weight? Like, what can they do with your weight to actively target you? Like, cell phone information, yes, they can sell you stuff. But what can they do with the information on your weight? Well, they could probably sell you fast food ads and whatever. But we was gonna buy that anyway, so that don't matter to me. They say it's gonna be confidential, but I don't believe that. But let's just take their word for it. Okay, so the passengers can decline. I said that before. They can decline. They can say no, but they're gonna need to know the average weight of the passengers. They're gonna need to know. They're gonna pick the most average person. So they say 7% of the Americans are overweight. So if 7% of the passengers are gonna be overweight, let's say that. Let's keep the numbers simple because I don't be mathing. Say 7%, they're going to pick the most average person, not too over. They're probably going to be overweight because the most average American is overweight. They're going to pick somebody, and that's going to be it. Hopefully somebody who doesn't mind being weighed, and that's that. Like, but if they don't do that, if they don't weigh it, and it's not based on just your individual weight, then this is what happened. Then they would just weigh those people, like do the survey naturally, weigh the people, calculate how much on average that the weight has increased on an average American, and just raise the ticket prices all around. Just make it where everybody's going to eat the cost. No matter what you weigh, everyone's going to eat the cost. But then you have the argument that we're paying for people's weight gain, and we're paying, if that's what the thing is, if that's the new rule, that we're paying for people weight gain. But either way, whatever's going to make it safer for me to make it on the next side of wherever I'm going, do it. Like, just go ahead and do it. We already going through rigorous rules and regulations. Just get on the plane. Just go ahead. I will say, though, that they didn't have to tell us about weighing us. They could have just put a huge scale in the middle of, like, you know that before you board the plane, they could have put a scale on the plane. Like on the little, when you walk on it, they're like, oh, stay right there. And they can just see the numbers. We don't even have to see them. They can see the numbers, write them down, and keep it going. They didn't have to tell us. Like, low key, they could just put a scale somewhere in the airport. Because we have to go through, like, single fan lines often to go in different places. So they should do that right before we board the plane. And we wouldn't even know. I don't know why they told us. But if this is mandatory, and it's something you got to do anyway, it was something you got to do anyway when we show up at the airport. So, like, hopefully, nobody gets in their feelings about it, about which way. Because it's going to happen. But I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. But if I get to the airport and my ticket is insanely high, I'll pay the price. But then I'll be like, dang, I need to lose some weight. I want a cheaper ticket. That's what I'll be like, But then, some people happy the way they is. If you happy the way you is, just pay the extra price. And just pay the extra price. Hopefully, this will help. It's a new safety standard, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's no whining, complaining, no explaining why. They don't need to know your history. Just pay and get on the scale. You can decline if you don't want to. But that's all, you guys. I found that article interesting. I found it enlightening. I was like, oh, okay, that's a cool rule, but I can see how some people ain't gonna like it. But I'll see you guys later.